In this tutorial of Corel Painter 11, I'm going to show you how to use some of the effects and what some of the effects do when you use them on a photograph. First, let's create a new document that's 8.5 by 11 inches. So let's change our pixels to inches to make sure we're at the right size. Click OK. When our canvas opens up, we can enlarge and zoom out a little bit. The first thing that we need to do is upload a picture by going to File, Place, and we can pick one of the pictures. Um, and let's take a picture of Zeke, my dog, mean mugging me. And we're going to stretch it out. Alright. It's a little bit out of sync. It's a little warped. So that's okay. So first thing we want to do, as always with our photographs, is make sure that we commit the layer by clicking that. Now, under Effects, there's lots of different things that we can do. Let's start with the tonal controls. You can correct colors, adjust specific colors, change brightness and contrast. For instance, I might want to make this picture a little bit brighter. Get rid of, or make it lighter, but with the same amount of contrast, so that we can adjust it to where it's a little clearer and crisper, and apply that. And then next, we can do some other effects under tonal control. You have equalize, where you can equalize the lights and the darks, so you can adjust these like this. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some other tonal controls like posterize. And what this does is you can have a specific number of layers of values and color. So if I change this to 5, you're going to see how it separates everything out. I'm going to hit OK. And so now we have distinct separation in some of the values and colors. Also under tonal control, you have negative, where you can reverse everything. And now Zeke is even more scary. He looks like a ghost. Um, that's mostly what I play with under tonal control. Under surface control, you can add different lighting, and you can do this by putting lighting in certain areas to make some areas lighter or darker, change what angle the light's coming from. You can play around with different types of lighting. So we're going to hit OK there. Some of the other things that we can do under surface control, apply screen allows you to separate things into certain colors. This is a good way to, if you want to use a certain color scheme, you can change things into a certain. So I'm going to change these colors by double clicking on them. I'm going to make a different color scheme here with different blues. And let's make one dark blue. Alright, and let's see how it changes everything. Now, what could be fun also is we can go back to our surface or tonal control and do another negative, and then look at that. That's kind of fun. Alright, so under surface control, some of the other things you can do, image warp, you can take and click and warp the picture by clicking and dragging your mouse. I can stretch that out that way. Linear, it's a little bit different. Sphere, do it that way, and how big or small the sphere is. Okay, works like that. So then Zeke no longer looks like a dog. But if I don't like it, I can hit Control Z, and then there I go. I'm back, going back to where I was. So some other effects that you can do under surface control. is a quick warp. It's a kind of a standardized warping method in which you can do spheres, you can do bumps by dragging this to make it bump out. You can create a valley to make it indented in. You can make it swirl up the head, or you can make it ripple in two different ways, like a wave hitting water to make it look like a reflection. So there are things like that as well. And so poor Zeke is not looking too good. Some of the other things that you can do, woodcut. I like to play with woodcut a lot because it separates, again, another way to separate things out. I like printmaking, so I like the look of woodcuts. You can change the erosion of different edges, the heaviness of the edges, and some of them make them look a little messed up, so some of them you don't want to use. I change the colors of the color edges to move them and blur them. Then, just for the fun of it, let's go back to effects one more time and go back to tonal control, and let's do a negative again and flip it back to the blues. I wonder what will happen if we go back to the tonal control too and do the posterize again. I don't think that's going to change a whole lot, but what if we made more layers? Let's see if it changes. And it didn't. So because we'd already changed the layers, it stayed the same. But these are some of the common things that you can do, as well as we can go to sketch and it pulls it into a sketch. You can play with the adjustments there, and then it's taking it back to a drawing. So those are just some of the tools that you can use. I hope you're able to use them.